Good afternoon. Welcome to the University of New England and to the graduation ceremony for the awards in the Faculty of Medicine and Health. Graduands, family, friends and the UNE community, may I ask you to now please stand for the entry of the academic procession and the Chancellor of the University of New England. And please also remain standing and join us in singing the National Anthem. Thank you.
Cause I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. Cause I've been sleeping here instead. Been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed. So show me, family, all the blood that I will bleed. Cause I don't know where I belong. I don't know where I will roam, but I can write a song. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Cause I don't think you're out for here. Cause all the world it might have been for you. You took your bus to Chinatown. I'll be standing on Canal and Bowery. She'd be standing next to me. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Cause I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart.
Australians, oh let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with gold soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Please be seated. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land that we call New England and all the lands that the University of New England operate on, and show my respect and our respect to their elders past and present. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the winter graduation ceremony for medicine and health, and to our special guests, Professor Ruth Stewart, National Rural Health Commissioner and today's occasional address speaker. Councillor Eric Noakes, the Mayor of Walker. Deputy Chancellor Jan McClelland, Vice-Chancellor and CEO of the University of New England, Chris Moran, my fellow council members and the entire university community. But you, our graduates especially, and your families, this is your day. You've worked very hard to get here. Enjoy it, live it to the fullest and remember it, because it's worth remembering. Graduation ceremonies are a whole of university celebration. It's what we're here for. That first person you spoke to when you enrolled at UNE, whether it be an academic or a member of the professional staff, to the last person that gave you a lecture or tutor or signed you out of university. We're here to give you the best experience you possibly can, give you the best education we possibly can, and provide you with knowledge and skills that will grow your personal life and your work life. So enjoy today, please. I now call upon Steve Witters to make welcome to country.
Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you, Jess, for making sure I got the right place. Steve Witters is my name, and I'm a descendant of the Anawan people, A-N-A-I-W-A-N, which is the traditional custodians on the land where we meet today. Outside Boolamimba, just behind us here, and Boolamimba is actually an Anawan name, meaning place of wild apples. So the university still recognises that we're on Aboriginal land by using Aboriginal names all the time. Wherever we go in Australia, we're on Aboriginal land, and it always was and always will be Aboriginal land. And the university shows that respect by acknowledging that and asking people like myself to come to welcome you all here to Aboriginal land. I'm carrying on a tradition that's been around for many thousands of years, and the welcome to country is done with respect and with an understanding, and to create awareness about who we are and where we are. And it's part of an identity, knowing where you belong. It's been around for many thousands of years, and because it has to be done for social responsibility and for moral obligation with Aboriginal people. There are over 300 different Aboriginal countries in Australia. And Aboriginal people, they had a very intricate and sophisticated networks throughout those countries. And if somebody went to one country to another, they would need to be welcomed. Similarly, when you travel overseas, you need to be welcomed, stamping a passport that makes you welcome and that you are under that jurisdiction. But a welcome to country here in Australia, which is a very multicultural nation. It wasn't multicultural since colonisation. It's been multicultural for many thousands of years. Aboriginal people come from different countries. They speak different languages. They have different rules and different guidelines. But they're all united in many ways by the sun and the land, which is represented by a flag over here that says the people, the land, and united by the sun. That is something that is also carried by many Indigenous countries, Indigenous people of other countries throughout the world. So a welcome to country is done in that, for respect, for trust, and to let you know where you are and why you are there. And I'm doing that today thanks to the invitation of the university who acknowledged that. I'd particularly like to welcome all of those that have travelled a long way. Most of you would have. I'd like to welcome those that are online that can't be here today and those that are overseas in other countries. I'll make a special welcome to Professor Chris Moran and his wife Mandana, who come from Western Australia. And this is Chris and Mandana's first graduation. So a special welcome to you there, Chris. Well, it's actually third graduation, but the first weekend for the graduation. Professor Chris Moran and Mandana. Now, I'll give you a bit of an idea for those that don't know. If you've studied here at UNE, you probably would know, and particularly in the School of Medicine and Health, you would need to be present at most classes. You would know a little bit about New England, or Anawan. New England was a name that was given to the Anawan people here. All the countries in Australia, Aboriginal countries, are defined by the geographical boundaries. So when the geographical boundaries change, so does the custodianship of that land. And here in New South Wales, we've got many countries around us. One of the biggest ones is the Wiradjuri. That's the Western Plains, mostly all of the Western Plains in places like Dubbo and Griffith, from Wagga Wagga, Orange, Bathurst, all west of the Blue Mountains. But when it comes to the Blue Mountains, it changes again. So when the landscape changes, the custodianship does too. We're surrounded here on the high country by many other countries around us. Some of you may be familiar with the Bundjalung, the Gumbanga, the Dunghutti, the Biripi, the Kamilaroi, the Wonnarua, Warramai, the Wabikal, Gadigal, Darkinjung, Huon, and it continues. It goes on and on and on. Some of you may not know your country where you live. I ask as an Aboriginal person and as an Australian that we all learn about the Aboriginal country that we're on. We all know what city we live in and what township, but do we know the Aboriginal country? Anyway, for this reason, I'll give you an idea of where we are. For many thousands of years, it's been like this, because the original inhabitants, for the original inhabitants, it was a cycle of life, from fire to death to regrowth, from dry, desiccated yellow to lush, succulent green. They were part of the regenerative process. My ancestors, the Anawan, they lived here on the high country. They were part of the land, and the land was part of them. They thought in cycles, in circles. What went round, came round. Then they encountered the people who thought in straight lines. These people had linear stories with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Anawan storytellers, they spoke of Turumbandian in Gunnemadabray, the high country from where the waters came. They spoke of Alpawan, the low country, where the waters linger. And they spoke of Awara, the broken country, where the waters fall. Those names were changed, and some of you may be familiar with them, to Mount Javal, to Jemeric Creek, and the Waterfall Way. That's what happened when colonisation started. Aboriginal people lost their identity, lost their place, and lost their knowledge of the country that they lived on. And that's why I always say it's very respectful of institutions like the university to acknowledge that and to give an opportunity to remind that when I welcome you to traditional country. In the School of Medicine and Health, you're all graduating today in a range of occupations, from nurses to doctors to counsellors to psychologists to psychiatrists. Just like to mention that those professions are not new. They're not new at all. They've been around for thousands of years in Aboriginal culture. They had their own formations of it. They had their own university and their own way of learning. They passed it all on. And they learnt traditional ways and made sure it continued all the time to ensure survival. There's many medicine men and women, nurses, lots of nurses, psychiatrists, counsellors, everything that you're graduating as today. They've been around for a long time. And the traditions have continued, changed in a little way by the colonisation of this country. But let us always remember we're on the land of many Aboriginal nations who have a rich tradition, a very diverse tradition and culture and heritage and responsibility to that land. And they've been here for thousands and thousands of years. It's not new. We're the oldest living culture in the world. Anyway, I'm going to welcome you in my language, the Andaman language, and it says, welcome one and all, and you don't have to be Aboriginal to be welcomed. It's a courtesy thing, it's a respectful thing, and it's saying, welcome to our land, and embrace everything that it has to offer. Yaga Andaman no yina, inja Andaman kiuna, yaki yina hinja kiunda, hinja nyambeka kiuna, nyambeka orala. Otila rakinya inja kiunda, natame runyara, nyambeka kiunda. Welcome everybody, and congratulations to all of you who are graduating today and to your families and supporters that have been with you, by your side, all the time. As Chancellor Harris said, congratulations, it's your day. Welcome everybody to the land of the Andaman. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I now invite the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Chris Moran, to present Professor Ruth Stewart as today's occasional address speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. Good afternoon, everybody. And Steve, thank you very much for that warm welcome and telling us something about the Highlands. And on behalf of myself and Mandana, it's very touching to be personally welcomed to this land. And I thank you very much for doing that. I also acknowledge the Andaman people and the people on all the lands that our university operates, where we teach and learn together, and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. The first graduation to be held at the University of New England was in 1955, the year following the university's official formation in 1954. It'll be our 70th birthday next year, and we invite you all to the party. There'll be a lot of parties and a lot of invitations, particularly to our graduates. Please come back. It's your home. In 1959, UNE's first Vice-Chancellor, Sir Robert Madgwick, offered the occasional address at graduation. In his speech, Madgwick wrote the following words: that university education should be available in a democratic society to all who can benefit from it. And further, that we cannot, as a nation, waste our educational potential by leaving untrained and uneducated to the highest level men and women who are willing to subject themselves to the personal and intellectual discipline which is essential in our students. You've done that. There's a two-part arrangement here. There's a very visionary man who had very great insight into how people could be connected to a university and connected to their future on their own terms, in their own places, whether they were here or living in their own lives. Remember, this is before the internet. This is when people had to connect with one another in quite different ways. His occasional address has been followed by hundreds of fascinating speakers, both UNE alumni and others, who take the opportunity to impart their wisdom and experience to the graduating cohort, family, friends and supporters. Today is my honour as UNE's 16th Vice-Chancellor to introduce our occasional address speaker. I encourage you all to listen carefully to her wise words, her lived experiences, because they come with a wealth of knowledge, both in the educational journey and the journey that followed. Professor Ruth Stewart was appointed as the second National Rural Health Commissioner for Australia in July 2020. She brings to this role nearly 30 years of work as a rural generalist doctor with the advanced skills of a GP obstetrician. Ruth and her husband, Anthony Brown, now live and work in Roma, Maranoa, located in the southwest region of Queensland. For 22 years, Professor Stewart and Anthony were general practitioners in private practice in Camperdown in southwest Victoria. In 2008, Ruth was employed as the inaugural director of the clinical training rural with the then new medical school of Deakin University. Her role was to establish the rural program. She created 18 longitudinal integrated clerkship placements for third-year medical students, where they spent their core clinical year in rural practice. The significance of that, for those of you who don't necessarily connect with the words longitudinal integrated clerkship, this is quite a different approach of having students have a continuity of their involvement with the health system as they're going through their learning process, and a direct attachment to those professionals, as opposed to a more conventional approach where you would have different placements in different places with different professionals without that continuity and growth and development of the educational experience. In 2012, Professor Stewart moved to North Queensland to become Associate Professor of Rural Medicine, Director of Rural Clinical Training with James Cook University, where she oversaw the doubling of rural clinical placements for the medical school. During this time, she also worked clinically as a Senior Medical Officer at Mareeba Hospital. And we'll note that she skipped all the way from Victoria to Queensland without popping into New South Wales for a decade or so to make some transformations here. Professor Stewart, there's still time. She's a past president of the Australian College of Rural and Remote Medicine and was on the college's board from 2002 until 2020. She was on the board of the Torres and Cape Hospital and Health Service for 6 years, the Cape York Hospital board for 2 years, and has been on the board of several regional training organisations for general practice training. She's been on the board of the Rural Doctors Association of Australia for 2 years and the Tropical Australian Academic Health Centre board for 3 years. As you can see, graduates, Professor Stewart has considerable experience and many things you might want to learn, because I'm assuming you will all want to work in regional and rural Australia, won't you? Professor Stewart has held several representative medico-political roles as well, including on the Distribution Advisory Group and the Health Innovation Advisory Committee for the National Health and Medical Research Council. She received a PhD from Flinders University in 2014. Her thesis examined the lessons learned from a managed clinical network of rural maternity services in southwest Victoria. She has an abiding interest in quality of rural maternity services and sustainable models of rural health care. Chancellor, graduands, guests, I now have the honour to invite Professor Ruth Stewart to give today's occasional address.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you to all of the honoured guests, and thank you for the welcome to country, to Anawan country. I am very grateful to be here today, and what a wonderful day it is. I stand here looking at excited faces of graduates and their families and loved ones. You're all gathered to celebrate the amazing accomplishment of the satisfactory completion of assessments. Graduates, you are about to become health professionals, and it's my very great pleasure to welcome you to the fold. because it is a fold. Now, like many family and friends, I've travelled a considerable distance to be with you here today. And I've given apologies for a couple of different engagements that I could have been at instead of this. Now, for your nearest and dearest, it's pretty obvious why they would make that choice. It's a no-brainer, really. After all, you'd put in all that hard work, all your late nights, your early mornings, your triumphs, and yes, your tears. And they were there. So of course they were going to be here. Of course they were. And look at everyone's smiles. But for me, the reason for my choices to come here may not be immediately obvious to you. So I'm going to lay them out. 1, you are new graduates of a regional university. I see a gathering of possible rural, regional and remote health professionals. 2, you are new graduates of a regional university and you may be drawn into the mainstream of specialised urban healthcare. 3, I have 10 minutes in which I can tell you about the best job in the world. That's a pretty long elevator pitch, but I'm going to give it a darn good crack. Okay, here goes, strap in. Students enrolling in health professional courses often say that they want a job in which they can make a difference, a job in which they can help people. They may be thinking but not saying that they also want a job with status and a reliable income. Now, if you want a job that can make a difference, why not seek those jobs where you can make the most difference? If it's helping people, take the job which helps the people who are most seriously in need of assistance. Do you know what demographic in Australia has the worst health outcomes? Of course you do. You've been studying for some years now at a regional university. It's the remote dwelling First Nations people of our nation, followed by the non-Indigenous people in those remote communities. In 2015, when I was living on Thursday Island in the Torres Strait, my Torres Strait Islander friends, amongst the men, their life expectancy was 8.5 years less than friends that I had in the city. Amongst my female Torres Strait Islander friends on Thursday Island, their life they could expect to live to 70, which is 7 years less than the average life expectancy in Australia. That is not okay. In general, as you head towards the major cities, the life expectancy increases and the burden of disease diminishes. And by the time you reach the crowds of the big cities, you're seeing people who have the best health status. So here's a question for you. Where in Australia do you think we have the highest concentration of health professionals? Spoiler alert. It's not where the people have the heaviest burden of disease and the shortest life expectancy. No. You're dreaming. In the major cities, there are 2,077 clinical full-time equivalent people per 100,000 of population. Those ratios drop to 1,761 FTE per 100,000 people in regional areas. So that's a drop of 300 health professionals per 100,000 people. Doctors in the major cities, there are 421 doctors per 100,000 people. In outer regional areas, there are 253 doctors. That's per 100,000. That's a little over half. And in very remote Australia, there are only 186 doctors per 100,000 people. Yes, that's right. The parts of Australia that need the most healthcare have the least access to healthcare. So, where could you make your most impact? In rural and remote communities. Now, Barbara Starfield, an eminent American public health researcher, demonstrated that the more a nation invests in primary health care, the lower is that nation's burden of disease and the longer the population lives. And I put to you that by being a primary healthcare clinician, you will be helping the people most in need, and you will be most likely to have the greatest impact. So, that's my challenge to you. Now, you heard that I've been a rural generalist doctor for over 30 years. I think it's the best job in the world. Now, I'm going to talk to my experience, but within the multidisciplinary teams that I have always worked, we share this breadth of scope. As a hard-working rural doctor, I never needed to wonder if I was doing good. I could go to sleep ticking off lists of people I knew who were alive and healthy because of the work that we had done together, the changes I had helped see through. I could think of the mothers and babies I had nurtured to health, the lives I had saved, and those people who had lived their last days with dignity in their own community with their loved ones, because I had been there to make that possible. Now, I've done so many different and exciting things as a rural doctor. I've had some young students say to me, "Oh, but I want an interesting career, so why would I go to the rural?" Well, just listen to this. I've only got 2 minutes, so I won't go into every single thing I've done. But I've worked the length and breadth of this country, in farming communities, in mining communities, and amongst fishing folk. I've done surgeries, caesarean sections, set broken bones, removed skin cancers, and done the complex cosmetic surgery that is needed to repair the holes you make in skin when you do that. I've resuscitated people after major trauma, after respiratory arrest, after major blood loss. I provided the long talking therapy to victims of all kinds of trauma and mental illness. And now I know there are a lot of psychology graduates here today, and we really need you in rural communities. I've worked in Ethiopia, I've worked in Angola, I've worked in Scotland, I've done research, I've lectured all around the world, including to the World Health Organization and to the OECD. I've never been bored, and as you can see by that list of activities, I've not been limited by choosing a rural career. But I'll stop there because I've only got 10 minutes. Now, my job is to listen and talk to people around Australia, to formulate advice for the Ministers of Health on policy to improve the health of rural and remote Australian people. Our greatest challenge is to increase the workforce for these communities. And when I look at your excited faces, I see hope and possibility. Welcome to life as a health professional, but especially welcome to the opportunities that await you in rural and remote Australia. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Ruth, very much. And thank you for coming and putting a picture to what these people can expect and the excitement that they can expect in the life that they'll live. And I think we all hope that you'll do it in rural and regional Australia. We'd love to see you back. So thank you. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our musician for today. He was a local, and we're very lucky to have great talent in this part of the world. Fergus Lupton is going to perform, and could you please remain seated while he does?
What if folks showed all what it meant to be? What if the world this time's catching up with me? To my portrait down the mantelpiece, I saw what I lost right in front of me. Yeah, just woke up in 5 years that disappeared out of reach. It's a blurry mess and I'm the passenger in my front seat. When there's someone that you could have been, but you're asleep at the wheel again, and you looked in the rearview, not struggling. Some stranger's eyes on me. So if a foe showed all what it meant to be, what if the world this time's catching up with me? So my portrait down the mantelpiece, and I saw what I lost right in front of me. So whatever foe showed, foe showed. So if a foe showed all what it meant to be, don't place a space to lead. You're spending your money, let the head start. What your dad sees in you, only see half. But your mother still loves you with the same heart, wearing rose-colored glasses. Cause there's someone that I could have been, but I'm asleep at the wheel again. Cause I know I made a promise. Cause if I'm being honest, the foe showed all what it meant to be. What if the world this time's catching up with me? So my portrait down off the mantelpiece, when I saw what I lost right in front of me. So whatever foe showed, foe showed. So if a foe showed all what it meant to be, don't place a space to leave. Cause I know where we at, I know that it's going, yeah. Cause I keep falling short. Cause I fell short of what it meant to be. I guess the world this time it caught up with me. I put my portrait back on the mantelpiece, trying to face that mess staring back at me. So if a foe showed all what it meant to be, what if the world this time's catching up with me? I saw my portrait down off the mantelpiece, when I saw what I lost right in front of me. So whatever foe showed, foe showed. So if a foe showed all what it meant to be, don't replace the space to leave.
Thank you, Fergus, very much. It's a great pleasure to have you here, and you've done a great job for this graduation ceremony, so thank you. I now would like to invite the Chair of the Academic Board, Associate Professor Jennifer MacDonald, to present the graduates for their degrees.
Would the graduands please stand? Chancellor, I submit to you a list of candidates as set out in the program who have completed all requirements and are entitled to be admitted to their respective academic awards and degrees.
In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit these candidates to their respective academic degrees and awards.
Would the graduates please be seated? Would the graduates who are also receiving a New England Award please stand? Chancellor, the New England Award is granted to selected graduates who have demonstrated outstanding service to the university and to the wider community and commitment to others. It is a non-academic award given by the university in recognition of the skills, attributes, leadership and personal qualities that are developed through extracurricular activity, committee membership, voluntary work and good citizenship. Today, the university is proud to be presenting these graduates with the award.
Through your actions to achieve the New England Award, you have shown yourselves to be high-achieving, proactive and outward-looking members of the university community. The university is proud of the relationships we have developed with other organisations through your efforts, whether they be within Australia or outside Australia. And on the behalf of Council and the entire university community, I extend to you our hearty congratulations.
Would the graduates please be seated? Would the graduates who are also receiving a Vice-Chancellor's Scholar Award please stand? Same people. Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor's Scholar Award is granted to selected bachelor's or master's degree graduates who are graduating with a grade point average of 6.7 or higher. Today, the university is proud to be presenting the graduates with this award.
The Vice-Chancellor's Scholars Award is a way the university can recognise and celebrate and reward the achievements of our most outstanding academic high achievers. Through your actions to achieve the Vice-Chancellor's Scholars Award, you have shown yourselves to be hard-working, disciplined, creative members of the university community, with a determination to succeed at almost anything. On behalf of the Council and the entire university community, I extend to you our hearty congratulations.
Would the graduates please be seated? The Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you all those graduates newly admitted to academic degrees and awards, commencing with those graduates newly admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy who are able to be present at the ceremony. Doctor of Philosophy. Azanaku Achai Ail. Community pharmacists in maternal and child health service provisions in Ethiopia. Henok Gerasho Tejen, medication adherence among people with cardiovascular disease, a multivariable predictive model development and validation. Doctor of Philosophy, Clinical Psychology. Thomas Janowski, the relationship between early maladaptive schemas and cognitive, emotional and behavioural responses in interpersonal relationships. Chancellor, I now have the honour to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health, Professor Jennifer Williams, to present those graduates newly admitted to degrees and awards, commencing with the degree of Master, who are able to be present at this ceremony. Chancellor.
I now have the honour to present to you those graduates newly admitted to the degree of Master from the Faculty of Medicine and Health. Master of Counselling, Patrick Garibian. Master of Health Management, Emma Marie Maguire Jennison. Master of Nursing Practice, Sadiksha Adhikari. Sushma Chowlagan. Mamata Mahajan. Sujina Makoju. Pramila Thapa. Master of Psychology Clinical, Danielle Nedelkovska. Master of Social Work Professional Qualifying, Zahid Mahmoud Awan. Anima Basnet. Elizabeth Dichiara. Precious Omamoke Odiji Ireva. Malaya Veronica Parker. Paul Ona Sule. Mohammed Umair. Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those graduates newly awarded the Graduate Diploma and Graduate Certificate from the Faculty of Medicine and Health. Graduate Diploma in Counselling, Cody Lee Breckney. Graduate Diploma in Psychology, James Enderby. Graduate Certificate in Acute Care Nursing, Kioan Wei. Graduate Certificate in Health Management, Emma Sanguinetti. Chancellor, I now have the honour to invite the delegate of the head of the School of Health, Dr. Sally Bristow, to present those graduates newly admitted to the degree of Bachelor with Honours, Bachelor, and those graduates awarded the Diploma and Undergraduate Certificate who are able to be present at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I now have the honour to present those graduates newly admitted to the degree of Bachelor with Honours, Bachelor and awarded the diploma and undergraduate certificate from the School of Health who are able to be present at this ceremony. Bachelor of Pharmacy with Honours, Varun Sharma. Bachelor of Community Services, Tian Allen. Bachelor of Nursing, Sumita Charlesi. Carly Ann Hawking. Subrana Kakai. Akusha Makuju. Christine Matutu. Atiha Pudal. Anu Ray. Rachel Thompson. Cody Winters. Saswistika Yadavar. Bachelor of Pharmacy, Vilma Devi Sharma. Bachelor of Social Work, Jessica Dawn Baker. Peter Elizabeth McCausland. Lisa Irene Muzzo. Lucy Annabelle Ramsey. The Diploma in Community Welfare and Wellbeing, Samantha Lee Elliott. The Undergraduate Certificate in Health and Social Care, Tanisha Ellen Brooks. Chancellor, I now have the honour to invite the Head of Psychology, Professor Aina Thornton, to present those graduates newly admitted to the degree of Bachelor and Undergraduate Certificate who are able to be present at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you those graduates newly admitted to the degree of Bachelor and awarded the undergraduate certificate from the School of Psychology who are able to be present at this ceremony. Bachelor of Psychological Science, Ayush Baral. Tyrone Andrew Carl Bin. Emily Hollier. Hannah Louise Hopkinson, also receiving the Vice-Chancellor's Scholar Award. Anne Marie Langford. James Christian Muir. Brett Nicholas Sang, also receiving the New England Award and the Vice-Chancellor Scholar Award. Jessica Smith, also receiving the Vice-Chancellor's Scholar Award. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of awards from the Faculty of Medicine and Health to graduates who are able to be present at this ceremony. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you. Before I ask Hannah Hopkinson to present the vote of thanks on your behalf, there's a thing called the Chancellor's Award for the crowd. And though, in fact, you are the smallest crowd we've had at this graduation ceremonies, you get my vote for the most enthusiastic. So congratulations. Hannah Hopkins, if she could come up and move the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor, Council members, local elder, distinguished guests, academic staff, fellow graduates, family and friends. I would also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the Anaiwan land that we are gathered on today, and I would like to pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. My name is Hannah Hopkinson, and as you can probably already tell from the huge smile on my face, I am so excited, relieved, but mostly honoured to be here today and to stand beside my fellow graduates on this special day as we recognise the culmination of years of hard work and dedication to our studies. Today I'm graduating with a Bachelor in Psychological Science, which I commenced 3 years ago. And like many of the graduates here, I studied completely online, whilst also juggling competing demands of work and motherhood. So to say it's been a challenge would be quite an understatement. However, studying at the University of New England was one of the best decisions I've made. At UNE, you not only receive a first-class education, but you are transformed as a person. The way I think and the way I see the world now has completely changed. These past 3 years, I have learned how to think critically and scientifically, to sift and weigh evidence and to seek truth. I have gained an understanding of how my own limitations and biases affect my ability to be objective and make sound judgments. And I believe this has made me not only a better student, but a better mother, a better friend, and a better person. The knowledge I've acquired throughout my time at UNE has opened my mind to new ideas, facts, possibilities, and has instilled in me a desire to be a lifelong learner. It has inspired me to pursue research and to concentrate on worthy objectives that will make a difference in the community. I believe my profound experience at UNE is largely due to the incredible academic staff who go above and beyond to deliver enriching content, provide constructive feedback, and who are always there to offer words of encouragement along the way. There were so many times I was exhausted after a long day of work or looking after young children that I honestly thought there was no way I could stay awake and watch a lecture, let alone retain any information. Yet time and time again, I was proven wrong. Shortly after tuning in, my attention would be captured very quickly, thanks to content that was always so interesting and the contagious enthusiasm of lecturers imparting their valuable knowledge and experiences. So firstly, on behalf of all the graduates here today, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed academic staff. Your dedication, guidance, and unwavering support have played a pivotal role in shaping us into the individuals we are today. We are forever indebted to you for your tireless efforts in nurturing our minds and preparing us for the challenges that lie ahead. We would also like to recognise and extend our gratitude to others who have contributed to our success today, many of whom have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that we're well supported and prepared. Namely the Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor, faculty administrators and staff, IT support team and the librarians. Your dedication and hard work has ensured that our learning experience was seamless and enriching. From managing the online platforms or providing technical support, your efforts have created an environment conducive to learning and personal growth. To our parents, family and friends, thank you for your unfailing support, encouragement and understanding. I have no doubt that many of you are just as relieved as we are that we've made it and that we're here today. Your belief in us, even through moments of doubt, has been the driving force behind our success. So thank you for being our constant source of inspiration and for celebrating this milestone with us, even if it is from afar. So lastly, but certainly not least, I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to each and every one of my fellow graduates. Today we celebrate not only our individual accomplishments, but also the collective success of our graduating class. We leave today not only with a degree, but the character that has been developed through hard work, sacrifice and perseverance to achieve a goal. As we embark on different paths, let us remember the resilience and adaptability that we've developed during our time at UNE. In conclusion, I'd like to extend our sincere gratitude to all those who've contributed to making this graduation ceremony a truly memorable one. Your presence, support and guidance have been invaluable and we will be forever grateful. So once again, thank you and congratulations to the graduates today. I wish you all the best in your future endeavours and I hope everyone here has a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Hannah, very much. We like to think that the people that graduate from UNE have got the skills and the knowledge to, one, be a little selfish, to help yourselves and your families improve your lives, broaden your horizons. But we also like to think that you'll go into the communities that you live in and do something for them. I think you'll find it to be highly rewarding, satisfying, and it really, if you're moving into a new community, it is about the best way to get to know that community. So please use your knowledge for the betterment of those communities where you live and work. We have something called the Alumni of UNE, and you've now become members of the Alumni of UNE. I ask you to join because we like to know where you are and what you're doing, and we like to be able to tell you what we're doing. But also, in many ways, it's a worldwide club, and you will go to many parts of the world at different times of your life for pleasure or work. And you will more than likely find somebody from UNE somewhere near where you live. So please get in contact with them. They will be good friends, good advisors to you in new territory. I mean, it's as simple as, where do the kids go to school? Where do I get the best cup of coffee? Where's the best place to live? Etc., etc. So use that international network that you've now become part of. Hannah mentioned the effort that your families have made to get you here today. I'd like you to stand and face them and thank them in our usual fashion for getting you here, putting the odd meal on the table and paying a bit of rent and giving you some encouragement. We're nearly over. Please be seated again. I would like to thank all the people at UNE who've made today and the last three graduation ceremonies possible. People who did the grounds, the graduation teams, the people at UNE Life, so on and security. They do work very hard to make sure that, one, these grounds can look as good as they can, and to make sure everything flows and your lives are made as easy as possible. So thank you to them on your behalf. There's one person leaving today, and this will be his last official duty at the University of New England, and his name is David Elkins. He's the photographer. I call him the boss. He's really the only person on a day like this who tells everybody up here on the dais where to go, where to stand, when to shut up, and how to stand. But David has literally immortalised thousands and thousands and thousands of our graduates, and the people who've spoken here, and the members of the community who've come to help celebrate our graduates. So to David, thank you very much from the University of New England. I don't know where you are. I can't see you. But I should have with that shirt on, shouldn't I? But anyway, thank you. It's been greatly appreciated. You've done a wonderful job, and we will miss you. Before I declare the ceremony closed, I invite our new graduates to process after the academic procession, and to please have some fun, but I've got to tell you that we're all in trouble. So enjoy tonight, enjoy your time with your family. I declare this ceremony closed, and would you please stand for the academic anthem. Thank you.
So walking on a dream, how can I explain? Talking to myself, will I see you again? No, 'cause we always run for the thrill of it, thrill of it. Always pushing up that hill, searching for the thrill of it. All alone, we are caught now, not again. Never looking down, just to know what's in front of me. It's real now. Two people become one. It's real now. Two people become one. Thought I'd never see all the love you found in me. Now it's changing all the time. Living in a rhythm where the music's working all the time. We always running for thrill of it, thrill of it. Always pushing on the hill, searching for the thrill of it. All alone, we are caught now, not again. Never looking down, just to know what's in front of me. 'Cause you feel now, two people become one. It's real now. thrill of it, always pushing up the hill, searching for thrill of it. All in all, we are calling out, not again, never looking down, just to know what's in front of me. No, we always run for the thrill of it. Never looking back, I'm just running for the thrill of it.